Let's talk about septic because it's probably the single most common thing that blows up a closing out here. And the rules in La Plata County actually changed this year. So if you're selling a place on a septic system, this one's for you. Here's what happened. The La Plata County Board of Health adopted new on-site wastewater regulations back in January, and they took effect March 2nd of 2026. The updated Colorado Regulation 43 took effect here the same day because the county adopted it by reference. The big one for sellers is a name change with some real teeth behind it. What used to be called the Transfer of Title Program is now the Continued Use Permit Program. Same basic idea though. Most properties on septic still have to be inspected before they can sell, and you still need a document from public health before you get to the closing table. And look, if your system is working and it's permitted correctly, honestly, not that much changes for you. The new design and siting standards apply to new installs, replacements, and significant repairs. An existing system that's functioning fine doesn't have to get brought up to the new standard just because you decided to sell, okay? So what does the inspection actually catch? First thing, it confirms the system matches its permit. That's the paperwork side, and it's where most sellers get blindsided. I'll come back to that one. Then there's the physical stuff. The inspector checks the tank for water tightness, meaning is it cracked? Are the seams leaking? Is groundwater getting in where it shouldn't? They run a flow test to see how the system handles actual water moving through it. They probe the soil treatment area for saturation, because saturated soil means the effluent isn't going anywhere. They check setbacks, so distance from your well, from the house, from any surface water. And they look for access ports. A lot of older systems out here don't have risers brought up to grade, and you'll probably end up adding those. You'll likely need the tank pumped as part of it too, and on some systems they'll want a record drawing showing what's actually in the ground. Now back to that paperwork piece, because this is the one that costs sellers real money. The system has to be permitted for the use that's on the property right now. Bedroom count is pretty much always the culprit. Somebody finished a basement 15 years ago and added 2 bedrooms, and the septic was permitted for 3. So now the county's looking at a 5-bedroom house sitting on a 3-bedroom system, and that's a mismatch. Same deal with an unpermitted second dwelling, a casita, a converted shop, a guest apartment. If it's got a bathroom in it and it's not on the permit, it's going to come up. That's not automatically a deal breaker, but you want to know about it before you're under contract, not 2 weeks out from closing. Here's the process, quick version. You hire a third-party NAWT certified inspector, not your home inspector. It has to be somebody certified specifically for this. They fill out the county's inspection report, then you apply for the continued use permit, and the county asks that you do that at least 2 weeks before your expected closing date. There's a $120 administrative fee, and it's non-refundable. Review takes about 3 business days once they've got everything they need. If the system fails or it doesn't match the permit, you're not stuck. You can apply for what's called a conditional continued use permit, where the buyer signs an agreement to handle the repairs after closing. That's a real tool and it saves deals. But it's also a negotiation, and you'd rather walk into that conversation already knowing. There are some exemptions worth knowing. If the system was installed and got final approval within 4 years of your closing date, you're exempt. Transfers that aren't arm's length, adding or removing a spouse or a kid from title, moving the property into a trust in your own name, foreclosures, those generally fall outside it too. Though even when you're exempt, a title company or a buyer can still turn around and ask for the inspection anyway. So the one thing I'd tell any seller, before you list, go pull your septic permit. It's public, it's right there on the county's permit search, and it takes about 5 minutes. Look at what the system was approved for, count the bedrooms in your house, and see if those numbers line up. If they don't, you've got a problem you can solve on your own timeline instead of on a buyer's. And get the inspection scheduled early. Inspectors around here get busy, especially in the spring, and 2 weeks before closing is the county's minimum, not a comfortable cushion. If you want to walk through a specific property, or you already pulled your permit and something looks off, reach out. The La Plata County Public Health Septic Team can be reached at 970-828-8888 can be reached at 970-828-8842, and they're genuinely helpful people. This is general information and not legal advice, and the county is always the final word on any of it.